So you drive a lot as a real estate agent. You're on the road a lot.
Some days, yes. Some days, it just depends on the appointments. But like
more than your usual job. You drive more than your usual job.
Yeah, way more. Yeah.
So where do you keep your phone while you drive?
It's usually just plugged into my car.
Like in the cubby.
And it's in the cubby, yeah.
Well, this podcast is sponsored. This podcast is sponsored by Peachz, bro. Premium phone accessories. That's how you segue into a sponsor. Just
So what do you just
so
stick
I
your phone
got
on
one
your
of those Uber driver connections. No, but it's dope, bro. So obviously, I don't know what iPhone do you have?
11.
Okay, well, so this is the 14 with the MagSafe. So I literally just go, it's magnetic, pop it on.
Oh, that's sick. Yeah, that's
and it
actually
just sticks,
okay.
bro. You don't have to like clamp it on or anything.
Yeah, it's not like
it just pops on and it sticks on there, bro. So yeah, Peachz, guys, hit up the link
Is
in
that
the
on your
description.
cover?
No, this is just the symbol for MagSafe.
Oh.
So this wasn't from them, but I got like a charger and stuff from them.
Yeah.
So shout out Peachz, link in the description for you guys to shop. But I mean, you know, as a real estate agent, you do drive a lot and you do travel.
Yeah.
How's that
Especially
for you?
because I don't just do like one area. So sometimes it's like Broadacres, Midrand, into Sandton. So it's up and down a lot. And because it's in town,
yeah,
you're not like cruising on the highway, which is the shit part.
And you got into it quite young. That's also something I want to discuss is, you know, just going for it from the beginning, you know. Like obviously you
came out of lockdown.
You did study a little bit, but it's not like you did a 5-year degree, 4-year degree, whatever, then an internship and then all of that. You were kind of just like first opportunity.
Straight into the deep end.
Yeah, first opportunity I get, I'm going to go and work.
It was after lockdown, coming out of literally like, so when we went into lockdown in 2020, and then things started opening up in like July, I think, somewhere around there. And then I started and just basically took it and ran with it.
And obviously, different strokes for different oaks. Some people prefer doing things differently. But for you and your personality, you obviously preferred and you wanted to be working as soon as possible.
Yeah, I don't like sitting around doing... No, honestly, I didn't really think I'd be going into real estate. Like before lockdown and even during lockdown. Like it was not something that actually ever crossed my mind. And then I got the opportunity and I was like, okay. And then I just
real estate aside, more just you not someone who will get a job and, you know, go to the office 9 to 5, follow that kind of process.
I think it would make me very unhappy, to be honest.
What personality traits do you think you have that kind of make you go that route?
It's kind of weird, bro, because I've got like a business personality and then like how, like, for example, you know me. You know, it's to like when I answer the phone, like the tone of my voice, everything's completely different straight away. Because with real estate, you got to be quite like, that's something I had to learn, is that you got to learn people skills, you got to learn how to adapt. Because like you could have one client and then 15 minutes later, the next client comes and they're completely different. They talk completely different. So you got to kind of like be able to suss out the situation because you don't want to make them feel like uncomfortable. At the same time, you also still want to come off as confident.
But I think that's in business, it's always like that. It's you're kind of putting on a show. You're not obviously putting on a show to be fake, but you're putting on a show for people, for the client, for potential client, whatever, that suits what you kind of reading as their personality to be, to obviously best suit them, to obviously help you get the sale or to help you get that listing.
And you want that client to kind of click with you. Because, I mean, if you can have 3, 4, 5 agents selling the same property, the buyer and that buyer could go and view the property with every single agent, they're going to choose the one that they like the most. I mean, let's be real.
And do you like kind of dress, obviously you dress smart, but do you dress for a particular client? So like for a client from this culture, you dress one way, a client from a different culture, you dress a different way.
Not necessarily for the client, but for the property. So like, for example, I always have like my work pants and my work shirts and stuff like that. And I've got some are like long sleeve collared shirts, some are short sleeve, like polo shirts with the zip. So when I'm just doing, houses in and around Fourways and Midrand and stuff like that, then I know I can do my work pants with like my work, not the smart, like the proper suit shoes, smart shoes, but like a pair of sneakers that look nice with work pants and a work shirt kind of thing, right? And like I'll wear a short sleeve shirt. But then if I go into, for example, let's say I go into a property that's a little bit more high end, and the owner's also obviously a little bit more.
They got more money. They might be more pretentious.
Yeah, then I'll wear my smarter shoes. I'll wear a nicer belt. I'll put on a long sleeve collared shirt to make sure that I have my watch and things like that, just to kind of suit the occasion and things like that. So the only time I've dressed for clients specifically is when I've had clients that lived in Japan, and with Japan they don't really do the whole like no shoes in the house. Right, so I knew that every time I was doing showings there.
But you wore shoes to the house and then took.
No,
them
obviously
off
I'm not going to
outside.
drive there. But I would make literally have to make sure that I go there in my shoes. But then before I go into the house, literally make sure that I've got like a clean pair of socks, all of that kind of stuff, and then do the showing, and then also
you don't want to walk into the house with smelly feet.
Exactly. Or if you've got been wearing the same pair of socks the whole day, or sometimes you've got a sock that's got a hole by the toe. Yeah, they don't match, which is very often for me. And then also have to explain to the clients beforehand as well, like, listen, when you come to the viewing, just know that we can't wear shoes in the house, which to be honest was weird. They found it like very weird, like no one wants to come and view the house and they've got to take their shoes off. So also had to like make sure to let them know,
and it's obviously a cultural thing, but for me, I hate it. I just clean my floors. Someone comes into the house, they put whatever mud that they've been carrying from outside onto your floors. Yeah. And that's my worst. And I hate dirty floors. Yeah. So like I can understand it. It might not be why they do it, within the culture, but I know, and I like if it's been raining and people come to my house, I say, guys, please just clean your feet, or maybe take your shoes off, or just let it happen, makes it dirty, get a little bit frustrated, and then when they leave, clean the floor.
Yeah. But I mean, out of respect, they should at least just wipe their shoes before they come in the house. But to be fair, some people don't. I've had clients that literally like would be pouring with rain outside and they just walk into the house, and I'm like,
yeah. Bruce, talking about putting on an act, obviously as a salesman, I have actually been putting on an act recently, and I am going to be in Sentimental.
Really?
So
That's so sick.
I had a friend of mine.
I hope they're not going to make you speak Afrikaans.
Yeah.
Oh. So do you know how to speak Afrikaans?
Yeah, kind of, bro. So obviously, this guy Carl, who's been on my podcast, Carl Clark, he is an actor now on Sentimental, and he messaged me when he was like, "Hey Jesse, bro, do you want to be on Sentimental? They're looking for an extra type of thing. There's not going to be any lines." So I'm like, yo, this is quite cool. Like, it's an interesting experience. Yeah. Let me go and do it. So then I did it. I did the first day, which was last week. Then I did the second day, which was obviously the day after that. Then during the one scene, they're like, actually, this doesn't look right if you don't say anything. Do you mind saying a line? And I'm like, oh my word, now I'm going to have to speak Afrikaans on Sentimental for however many viewers. Now, obviously, no one's going to know who I am, but still, at the end of the day, I'm going to look like this little English boy going on Sentimental and speaking Afrikaans. So luckily, the line is literally like, ho up. And then, so basically, the scene, actually, I don't want to spoil it. It's coming out in April, but basically, I just push a lady into a jail cell and say, ho up.
I'm so keen to see that.
Yeah, bro. So it's coming out, I don't know, like the first week of April or something.
Yeah. That's cool.
But I enjoyed it, bro. Like the whole process of seeing behind the scenes, seeing all the cameras, seeing how the director works with the people. And it's incredible. I mean, there's like 30.
Was it like what you expected or like very different to what you had?
Yeah, it was pretty much what I expected. Like certain things, like obviously, let's say they've got a coffee shop that they always use as a coffee shop within the series. That's like a set. Then right next to it is the bar that they always use, and then right next to it is that. So like it's literally a linear line of all the sets, and then they just move the cameras along the line, and then film in there, next film in there, that kind of thing. So that was interesting for me to see. Obviously that's a sitcom environment, whereas like a movie or different series is like obviously they travel around with the cameras and the crew and stuff.
That's quite cool. that's exciting, dude.
Bro, I've got some questions here.
Oh.
Some topics we can discuss.
I was getting a bit worried there. I was like,
I
no.
wrote it on my... Oh, no, it's in a photo, bro. Do you have... What is your morning routine like? Do you have a particular morning routine? Obviously, it depends on what your day is going to look like. But are there certain things that you do every morning, even if it's in the evening, something that, you know, is an established routine in your life?
So usually... Okay, obviously, sometimes I'm not always staying at my place. But usually, like, I wake up, or when I get back to my house, it's shower.
So that's the first
clean,
thing you do in a day?
Well,
wake up.
shower, brush my teeth, clean up a bit. I like my house being, like, neat. So I try to keep that. And then just basically go through everything that I need to for the day. And then just try to get all of that ticked off before, or as quick as I can, really. Yeah.
And do you do other things, you know, like within a routine that's like every day, okay, I wake up, let's say I clean the dishes from the previous day, or I make my bed and I do this. Like, do you have something that you kind of like always try to do every day?
Yeah, so for me, that's...
Even if it's having your first meal and having coffee.
Like I said, so for me, that's definitely like wake up and like doing the dishes. Because I don't mind doing the dishes, but at the same time, it's nice to wake up and get something done. Because then you feel like you've already done something before the day's even started, which is just like a good tone to set off the day. And then I'd usually have, then I have like my breakfast and stuff, coffee, and then basically just look at everything that I need to get done for the day and for the week ahead. Plan, okay, what I can do and get done on that day, and then just basically plan it out and set it up.
Do you like write those to-do things down?
So sometimes I write it down. Sometimes I literally just type it in my notes on my phone, and then literally start. So let's say if I put everything down on a piece of paper or on my phone, if I put it in my notes, I put it down and then I kind of prioritize it as to like what's the most important, what needs to be done first. And then start from the top of the list and just work my way down. And as soon as I finish something, I basically then like erase it off my phone and then move on to the next thing and then move on to the next thing. Because if I don't, then I kind of sit with it in my head and I'm trying to like think of 3-4 different things at once, and I don't like that. Yeah, it stresses me out.
Yeah. That's the best thing about like writing a to-do list, is because like if you're trying to keep it in your head and you're trying to think about it, you're obviously going to forget things. By having a to-do list, you oftentimes write down more things actually than what you need to
you'll
do.
write down 3 or 4 things, and then all of a sudden you've got another thing and another thing.
Yeah, and then you get more done in a day because there's more on the list, and because you wrote it down. Like there's that accountability where it's like, you know, I could actually do that tomorrow, but you still write it down, and then it's there. It's like, it's only 6 o'clock.
Bothers you,
Maybe I should do it.
Yeah.
So it is Valentine's Day. Obviously, when people are watching this, it might not be. But, you know, we've both been in relationships. We've been in good relationships, bad relationships. What is, you know, for you, things that you have learned from maybe past relationships that you've tried to implement in your current relationship, you know, that you might have made mistakes previously, or like what lessons have you learned that you've obviously now taken?
I think it's probably one of the biggest things for any relationship, and that's just learning how to communicate properly. For me, that's like, that was something that I honestly was pretty bad with in the past. And then obviously learned, even like in my current relationship, like communicating is just very important. And like even in your, like, you're always learning in a relationship, like always, you know, you're always going to communicate and then pick up on, okay, new ways, better ways to communicate, and you just kind of build from that. So yeah, I would say, and like I said, probably with any relationship, I mean, you can probably agree that just communicating well is probably the biggest thing.
Yeah, and I think within that communication is being like swallowing your ego a little bit.
Yeah, put your pride aside.
Put your pride aside, and like if something is bothering you, like I hate feeling jealousy. I hate to admit that I'll maybe be jealous. But actually maybe just mentioning it, it's not actually coming from a place of weakness to mention it.
No, it's normal.
Like, obviously certain things like, no, I'm jealous of the fact that your brother went out to dinner with you. Like those kind of things could be silly. Yeah. But like if it's something where let's say she's talking to a guy at gym. Yes, you know deep down that nothing was going on, but just admitting to the fact that maybe you did feel jealous, firstly, it might make her understand that you do care about her, but also it kind of just gets you through the communication process.
It's going to help you work past that as well. So like, for example, if you see her talking to a guy at the gym the next time, you're not going to feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing, is being willing to, surrender your ego.
Yeah.
To not be too proud to admit that you're feeling a certain way.
Definitely.
Just communicate that you're feeling that particular way. Even if you know it's pathetic, at the end of the day, but also you might be thinking it's pathetic because your ego
But your partner might not.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I agree completely as well. Like that's also, like I don't have an issue with putting my ego aside. I don't see why there's anything wrong with it. Yeah.
Do you know your love language?
Yeah.
Okay, how do you express love, and how do you feel most loved when you receive it?
It's more or less the same. Like, for example, like even in my current relationship, like we understand, each other like pretty well with that kind of stuff. So like for me, I love being able to, like, words of affirmation, even physical touch. Give like for me, like I love spoiling, the person I'm with. Like my girlfriend now, if there's a way that I can spoil her, just because of the fact that I can, then I will, kind of thing.
So what's the Valentine's Day spoils, bro?
No, I can't. She doesn't know yet. So.
No, well, she's not going to know. It's going to be like 2 days after Valentine's Day when this comes out.
Huh?
You don't have to say exactly what.
Yeah,
for you, spoiling, is it like, for example, buying a gift and then maybe writing a nice note? Or
so that's the thing. Like it doesn't need to be something crazy
expensive
for it to mean a lot. Like obviously at certain times, yes, but also you can do something that costs you nothing and it's just as special to them. Like, and that's also for me as well. Like I would rather get something sentimental and that's small, it even cost anything, whatever the case is, and I love that. Like my girlfriend did that for my birthday, where she got me a bunch of small things. She wrote me notes and letters, she made me things and all that kind of stuff. She got photos of us printed out and all that kind of things, and like to me that was way more special as opposed to just
a pair of New Jordans.
Yeah. Which is also cool, but that
doesn't take much thought.
There's a lot of thought and effort that's gone into like what she did for me. So for me, like that was nice. Yeah.
Are you a sentimental person in terms of like a medal from school that you'll keep, or like your first phone that you keep in a drawer? Like, are you sentimental about those things?
The certain things that I was like in school, I literally sprinted with like the same pair of spikes from grade 8 to matric. Because I was literally a size 9.
But was that sentimental, or is that almost like superstitious?
That was more superstitious than anything. But like all my bodybuilding medals and stuff like that, I've always got those for show and stuff like that. Like if I'm prepping for a show, for example, like waking up every morning and seeing the gold medals, I'm like, I've got to make sure I add another one, type of thing. So certain things like, and just small things, even like, this is sentimental to me, stuff like that. So yeah, I am quite sentimental. Yeah,
I'm the opposite in terms of, obviously, like you say, you got a medal. I need to do better than that, so you keep it. For me, I'm like, I need to do better than that, so I throw it away because I don't want to have to look back and be like, look how much I achieved. I want every new day to be a new achievement, to achieve something new. So I'm like, discard all the old photos, discard all the old trophies, but I'm different in that way. Like I will
makes sense though.
Like I don't care about anything sentimental. Obviously, like certain things, like let's say Gemma got me something, different story. But anything that I might have got myself or I achieved or whatever, like I'm not really sentimental about those things.
There's nothing. I wouldn't say there's anything big. Like if I think about,
so you're not like a hoarder.
No. Like if I think about, like I've still got all my old trophies, like my rugby trophies, my athletic stuff, all the bodybuilding medals. Like I didn't throw it away, but it's not like I'm there every day. Like
Yeah, you're not
You know,
looking at it like,
obsessing
I
over
long
them.
for the
Yeah,
days when
no.
I was winning.
No,
It's
yeah.
looking at that, be like, those were great, but I need to do better.
Pretty much.
But now, how can you do better with a broken hamstring? Tell the world what happened.
People are going to tune me for this.
It's fine. That's what happens when a bodybuilder tries to sprint.
Yeah, so yeah, I want to be able to obviously bodybuild, but at the same time, like being able to run or just running in general, like it's always like I love how it feels. Not long distance running and stuff like that. I can't. I was never able to. But sprinting, like 100, 200 meters and things, like it makes me feel really good. And even just previously, like I love my train. Like I go to the gym, I train, but at the same time, I also like, you know, I also kind of just like miss it. Like I was just craving to actually go back to the athletic stadium and just go through my old sprinting drills.
And were those spikes that you're using the same ones from grade 8 to
Oh,
matric?
no. Those things, I don't think I can run it. Those things are destroyed. By the time I finished my matric season, yeah, they had holes in it. They like started tearing at the end of the season because I was using them 2-3 times a week.
Well, when you're that fast, bro, you rip through those materials.
But sure. I'm also like curious. I'm keen to see like.
No, don't stop telling us the story of what happened to your
Oh,
leg,
yeah, sorry.
Go to that
Get
first.
there. I'm warming up, and it's not like I didn't warm up properly. Like I was warming up properly. Like, you know, I started off with dynamic stretching. I don't really want to do too much static stretching before you run or anything like that. And then also took laps around the track like very, very slowly, just getting the blood flowing and stuff. And then I went through all my warm-up drills. Like I had a coach that I used to see like privately when I was sprinting, and he would give me certain drills and things like that to do before every practice. So I was literally going through all of them, making sure I do all of them properly. Felt really good. And then just started off literally with just 20 meters. So like basically just starts. And I was going. Everything felt fine. Going. And then obviously the last one I did also, I went and was going, and then I started just slowing down. And while I was slowing down, I just felt something like tear completely. And I was like, oh. So we thought that my hamstring was, like I said, was torn. But luckily it's not torn. So at least I'm not going to be out of training legs and running and stuff like that for too long.
Bro, I was so happy when you told me that you had torn your hamstring, because I was like, yes, finally, Kieran's legs are going to get skinnier. But no, thanks, bro.
Yeah, it's just going to be maybe a week or two. I don't think I'll be going to the track this weekend.
No. But obviously you haven't trained legs since.
Yeah, so I trained legs towards the end of last week.
But that
and
was
obviously
before,
now this week I'm
yeah.
not able to train legs, yeah.
What are the limitations with bodybuilding? You know, that kind of puts you off bodybuilding. Like what are certain things about bodybuilding that kind of for you is like, you know, like sprints. You know, for instance, like, you know, when you're bodybuilding and you're competing, you don't want to burn too many, especially when you're cutting, you don't want to burn too many calories doing that kind of activity, because obviously you're going to waste muscle, or you're going to have to, you're in a bigger deficit. And, you know, what type of things don't you...
Yeah, so that, like, for example, when I was doing sprints, obviously, like, very seriously when I was younger, the training was very hectic. And it would sometimes get to the point where I hated the training sometimes. With bodybuilding, it's a bit different. Like, I love going to the gym. I love lifting weights. Like, it's good. It makes me feel good.
Okay, let me ask you, why did you hate the training?
What, the sprint training?
Because it was tough? Or because
so
you didn't enjoy it?
Obviously, it's always tough. But, I mean, if it wasn't...
Was it more because you didn't enjoy it, then it was tough? Or, like, was it...
It's just, you know, some days it was just... It's the same as, to be honest, it's the same as bodybuilding. Some days, like, you go, even though you don't want to, you go, and you just have one of those sessions where you just feel flat, like you've got no energy, your strength's not there. Sprinting was the same. Like, you go to the track one day and you're just not feeling explosive, you're not feeling fast, you're just not in the mood to really do it. But then again, you know, after 10, 15 minutes, you kind of then forget about it and you keep going.
And
I think
the
it's
endorphins afterwards, you're like, okay, actually, I'm glad I did it.
Yeah. I think the thing for me was when I was sprinting, especially like end of matric, we were still playing rugby. It was like after our season had ended. We still had a few games that were going on. And then I was also playing. So there we were practicing Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. I was competing for sprints every Wednesday. I was training for sprints privately on Saturday mornings. Well, depending on whether we had a rugby game or not. So either Saturday or Sunday mornings. And then also had sevens training on top of that. So I was just doing a lot. So I think, I don't know. I think it was just getting too much. To be like, I was fit. I was very fit. But I think it just got too much. And then I kind of always just enjoyed the idea of rugby more. Like school rugby is a jewel, you know? So I kind of like prioritized my rugby over the sprints. So the school they even said to me, like, sprint for the school, but you don't have to come practice with the school. So I was like, cool. And then at least I had to go to practice.
They did that to anyone who was fast. They're like, you're going to be doing running training pretty much at, rugby. And
exactly.
It's a school athletics.
Yeah.
It's not like
everyone
that you're competing against, other than maybe like Afrikaans.
But if I think back now,
24/7.
If I had to go back to like my first year or two at varsity, I would probably do varsity athletics over varsity cup rugby.
I think doing more sprinting would probably help the bodybuilding career later on as well. More running style.
Yeah, like you said, obviously you don't want to burn too much.
No, but I mean, like, let's say your foundation was 2 years of athletics with obviously training and gym and stuff, or 2 years of rugby with gym and training and stuff. I think your foundation would have been probably better with athletics.
Probably, yeah. Even though, I mean, when I was playing rugby at varsity, it was still because I was a wing.
No,
so I was obviously still sprinting a lot, but you're not doing
just
sprint specific drills and exercises.
Look at obviously, if you do 100-meter repeats, you sprint, your heart rate goes up, it goes down. It's HIIT training.
Yeah.
You're training the fast twitch muscle fibers. Obviously, rugby, you do a lot of fast twitch muscle fibers, but it's over a long duration. So you also are burning a lot more calories, so your body's going a lot more catabolic. Whereas with athletics, on a race day, you do 100 meters, maybe you do the 200 as well, 300 meters in total, half an hour warm-up, not even an hour of moderate, cardio, whereas rugby is 80 minutes of intense cardio. So the muscle breakdown would be worse with rugby.
Yeah, definitely. 100%.
So I think as a foundation, you might have also helped you with bodybuilding.
Probably. Definitely.
And now with competing, what are your plans, bro?
So at first I was planning on doing the show, I think it's end of July, those shows, but I've just
what is that?
Decided
NPC, obviously.
Yeah, NPC.
Which one?
I think it was actually the pro. I think it was a pro qualifier. Just trying to think. Yeah, I think it was.
But
and
the
then
pro
obviously
show,
I'd have, and then obviously
Cape Town,
at the end of the year, yeah. But to be honest with you, I'd rather wait and probably do the show towards the end of the year. Yeah.
Why? Just to put on more size, or just your priorities are elsewhere right now?
To be honest, that and like I'm training hard and stuff like that, but at the same time, it's not like my complete focus at the moment. To go and start prepping soon, where like work's busy, very busy, and that's kind of a little bit more important to me at the moment, obviously. Also while planning, going to be doing some traveling, stuff like that. So I also don't want to be worrying about having to prep if I'm away, if I'm traveling and stuff like that either. So it just kind of didn't work out in my favor. So I was like, rather do the show at the end of the year, plan for the end of the year, push towards that, and then just take it day by day really as well.
I think maybe that's also another negative about bodybuilding. Something that for me was kind of a negative is, in those 12 weeks, maybe like the first 8 weeks are okay, you can kind of juggle everything in your life. But those last 4 weeks, your work absolutely suffers. There's no doubt about it. your relationships are going to take toll. Like those are the kind of things where I was like, I'm not willing actually to make less money for bodybuilding. I'm not willing to do certain things. And that for me was the biggest reason why maybe I got out of it. But at the end of the day, anything in life that you want to do well in, it's going to take priority over other things. You know, the moment I was training for my ultra marathon, my work suffered, my relationship suffered, like everything, not in that badly, obviously, but everything.
But you're not able to do as much as what you usually would
you don't
be.
have the bandwidth to give that much energy into everything. Like if you training in the gym, you're starving, you're really tired. And then, you know, Lex is like, come Kieran, let's go out. We're going to go walk in the shops for 6 hours. Then we're going to go to a braai. Then we're going to go to a movie. You're going to be like, yo, bro, I'm eating 1,000 calories. How am I going to do this? You know, and like, it's just, and then you're going to obviously maybe be a bit more grumpy, or you're going to be, you know, a little bit, you might have less patience with the client, you know, those sort of things where you kind of just need to say, am I willing to sacrifice other aspects of my life to then obviously pursue whatever it is that's going to take away from those other aspects?
Yeah, the other aspects of my life, my career, relationships, in all aspects and things like that, you know, they're always going to be more of a priority. As much as I love bodybuilding and as much as I would love to, you know, go get my pro card and all that kind of stuff, obviously there's other things that come before that, because that's what's going to take me a lot further.
But also with your years of training and bodybuilding, you're able to manage everything else a lot better now than when you maybe first started.
And luckily with my job, honestly, like I am pretty flexible, because clients message me and I set up appointments and I know when my appointments are, how much time I have in between some of my appointments. Some of them are back to back, but I know I've got this amount of time before I have to start all those appointments, or I've got they end at this time, and then I can still do all my training and stuff. So it's also different because I don't necessarily train at the same time every single day, which is honestly fine. But yeah, so I'm able to kind of balance that and work it out and stuff like that. And because, okay, a lot of agents do have to go to an office and work from an office and things like that. I don't.
That's why Remax is better.
Exactly, yeah. So I don't. And to be honest with you, a lot of the Remax agents, you know, they don't bother going to the office.
Well, if you're making sales and you're doing your job.
That's the thing. So, I mean, I need to leave my house when I go to my appointments and things like that. And my paperwork I can do on my laptop at home, you know. And
then the expense for Remax is less because you're not there occupying space, occupying electricity, Wi-Fi. There's cleaning staff. They don't have to clean as much. Like it's so much beneficial for everyone.
Yeah, and some days, like, I wake up in the morning, I'm like, okay, my first appointment's only at, like, okay, I've got 5 appointments today, but they only start from 12:30, you know? So then I've got however many hours, basically the entire morning, where I can eat, I can get other stuff, you know, out the way, I can go train.
And also it allows you to do the online training and the other business ventures because it allows that flexibility of time.
Yeah. So that's basically more often than not what I do is in the morning is where I do my updates and things like that for my clients and things on the online coaching. Get all of that out of the way and stuff like that. Because also if I leave it bothers me. And also if you got the whole day and then you work and then you sort of go train and then you come home and it's like 7 o'clock already, still want to eat dinner, and then you got to sit down and carry on working. Like I'd rather be able to get it out the way first, so when I get home from gym, I can kind of just unwind until the next day.
Are you a morning person or evening person? I know for me personally, like after 9 o'clock, I can't focus. I can't do anything. Like 9 o'clock, I'm out on my couch. Like if you let's
it's
say
hard to
going
say.
back
Like
to school,
like I don't mind mornings.
Like obviously, because that's where the foundation started. You know, for me, if I had to study for a test, 8 o'clock, I'm not doing any more work. I'll wake up early and study.
Yeah, when I was in school, I would study through the night.
Don't pretend you study through the night.
No,
like you ever studied that hard?
For like finals and stuff like that, because for some reason they always had my bio papers and the next day it was always business.
Okay.
And I would completely prioritize biology because I loved it. So I'd study, and then I finish my bio papers, I come home, I'm like, okay, shit, I've got like a whole textbook to study for business tomorrow. So I would literally then just sit in the afternoon, or I'd like come home, eat lunch, whatever, chill for a little bit, and then start studying. Because I've got so much to do and I stress that I literally just sit until 1, 2 in the morning.
And now, like
it wasn't always that late.
If you got work to do now, would you rather say, okay, now I'm going to wake up early, or you say, let me just do it now, and then maybe sleep a little bit later, and so that, but you get everything done the night before?
I kind of, to be honest, I wake up at the same time regardless.
No, but let's say you have
I kind of prefer doing my work in the morning though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like, let's say 8 o'clock comes, you say, I'm going to stop working, whatever. You go to bed. Well, obviously you watch TV or whatever, then go to bed, and then wake up, let's say at 6 a.m., 5 a.m., whatever. Or would you rather, work the whole evening until like 2 in the morning and then wake up? Or
No,
would you say, let me wake up at 4?
I'd rather get up in the morning and work.
Okay.
Yeah. Because then you're also a little bit more fresh.
Yeah.
After the day, you're tired.
Are you a coffee person?
Yeah. Yeah.
How many coffees a day?
I don't drink coffee every day.
So you're not a coffee person, bro.
No, so
you're a monster person.
Yeah. No, okay, so I like coffee. Like I love coffee. Like I don't really drink tea or anything like that. I'd rather have coffee. But at the same time, I don't need it. Like if I wake up and I don't have coffee in the morning, then sure, sometimes I don't feel like having coffee in the morning. It doesn't bother me. Sometimes I wake up and I have coffee. So I don't know. It's kind of...
Then you're not a coffee person.
Yeah, not...
See, yes, you love coffee.
I like coffee, but I don't need...
Addicted.
Yeah, I don't need coffee every morning.
You're not addicted the way a coffee person is addicted.
Yeah.
Like I'm addicted, bro. Bad. Like 4:30 when I wake up, before I go to gym at 5, I've already had 2 cups of coffee. I have like 4:30, as I've got a timer on my coffee machine. So as I get upstairs, the coffee's ready, bro. 4:30, have my coffee, do a bit of journaling, 4:45, another coffee, 10 to 5, off to gym, come home, 6:30, take the dogs for a walk, come back, have another coffee, shower, have another coffee. It's bad, bro. Today I probably had about 8 cups of coffee, which is terrible. And now you're having this.
Terrible.
And that's why I can feel I've got a headache, because I'm having more caffeine and I have to go to the gym after this. I'm going to pass out.
You got anything planned for this evening?
Bro, Gemma just started a new job.
Okay.
So she's kind of getting in the groove of that. So we did obviously like exchange gifts and stuff. But on the weekend, we'll do like our Valentine's evening, because at the end of the day, what is Valentine's other than consumerism? Just trying to get people to buy more things and go out. It is, bro. Why was Valentine's invented? It was invented for people to spend more money. It was invented so that people go spend more money and shops make more money. And that at the end of the day, the world's driven by consumerism. It's true.
Yeah.
So we'll do something on the weekend that'll be like our Valentine's. Like we'll still have a special dinner, whatever.
Yeah.
But we might not go out. And you?
Yeah. Also, we're not going. Well, I've planned things for this evening, but it's not going out or anything like that. I've done something.
Yeah, no,
a little bit more special at home.
Yes.
Yeah, for this evening. So.
Yeah. I mean, like, why, in terms of the consumerism, why is flowers more expensive on Mother's Day, on Valentine's Day, bro? It's like,
because I know people are gonna buy it regardless.
Yeah,
of the day.
There's no difference between Valentine's Day and Black Friday. Both of them are created for people to spend more money.
Yeah, 100%. Like even in the shop, like you walk through shops and it's just Valentine's Day stuff.
Already Easter eggs are out, bro.
I was gonna say I went to the spa. When was it? I think it was this morning.
Oh, bro, you could have gone to the spa 3 weeks ago and seen
But yeah, I was
Easter
going to
eggs.
say, but also like a week, 2 ago, and they got the marshmallow eggs out and everything. I was like, it's like the beginning of Feb.
I could polish a whole box of those
marshmallow
things, bro.
ones.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
No, easy.
Okay, here's the question in closing. Cadbury, Easter eggs, or Beacon? Or do you even like have a preference? The OGs are more Beacon. Cadbury has come out with more, like they're the more popular ones. Ones. Like Cadbury is the yellow and those. Do you care?
Not really, to be honest. But you know those hard white ones?
Yeah.
I love those. Those are my I love those.
That's your Easter poison.
Yeah, I love those. I like the marshmallow eggs. And then, like, to be honest with you, I can only usually do like a chocolate bunny, and like I can't eat it all at once.
You don't have much of a sweet tooth,
For desserts, I do.
compared to me.
Oh no, no,
Yeah, you know.
no, and yeah, like I can do like chocolates here and there and stuff like that. I love chocolate, but for me, like desserts are my thing.
Okay, so like milk tarts, cakes, or
Cheesecake.
waffles.
It's usually always cheesecake.
Okay.
And
From
always
where?
they've got that.
Does it matter? Top 3 places to get cheesecake in 4 ways or Johannesburg.
To be honest, nothing beats mug and bean
Nothing
cheesecake.
beats mug and bean, bro.
Like, because Lex and I, we go out, we'd always have date nights in the week and stuff like that. And we go to a different place every week and we'll get desserts, and we also usually always end up going for cheesecake. And nothing compares to mug and beans.
And she also likes cheesecake.
Yeah.
Match made in heaven. Bro, thank you so much for coming on. It's been dope.
Thanks for having me, bro.
How do I deal with what I'm feeling? Maybe I just don't. What you do